Hello, networkers, and welcome back to another episode of Ask the Network Engineer, where I will answer one of your questions. And in this episode, I want to talk or continue talking more about some of you that may be struggling to get that position as a network engineer or any kind of network engineering opportunities. And this question really came from Ezel Reyes. So I want to actually talk about what he says or read his comment, and let's talk more about that. So he says, "Hey Michael, I recently obtained my CCNA and I'm still looking for a job at the moment. I've been applying for jobs at a knock, but no luck in getting the job, let alone the interview. Yes, my resume is in good shape, but my problem is that I have zero experience in the field. Recruiters and HR would call here and there, but they will always ask how much experience I have, only to reject what I have to offer. I've been advised that working at a knock is a good way to get your foot in the door for networking, but that hasn't been working out in my favor lately. Am I aiming too high? If so, what's another position for the entry-level chump like me to get that job experience? I have this knowledge that I want to use in real-world scenarios. I know enough to hit the ground running, but I can't use it, and it's eating me away. Much appreciated. If you can help me out in this pickle I'm in." Let's talk about this more. Okay, so after reading Azel's comment, I realized that I want to have more conversations around this topic of struggles that you may have to become a network engineer or gaining networking experience. Or if you're in a position that you have zero years of experience. So I was thinking about this for a long time, trying to figure out, well, how can I approach and really getting deeper of what is going on and what you're experiencing, because I think that's really important. So I'm going to have some action items that I want you guys to share with me and for you to kind of figure out exactly what you're doing, okay? But the very first thing that I would probably say, and this really was one particular question that came up in Azel's comment, which is, am I aiming too high? That's actually very interesting because, yes, a knock position, a technical support position, is going to get you to the next step of becoming a network engineer. However, it is still important that you must have some of the basics or entry-level skills if you're going to go into the IT field. Keep in mind that networking is not a one-step process. It's really a 2 or 3-step process to get there. No one goes directly into networking. It doesn't happen. You got to have some foundation first. And we all start off at the same level. We become desktop technicians. That's what I did starting out. I became a desktop technician working with computers and probably doing a little bit of networking, like making sure that the computers can talk to the server. Basic stuff like that. Then from there, you eventually would become a server administrator, basically expanding your roles and responsibilities. And that is also really important. So then at this particular point, you have desktops and you have servers, which means you have IT experience. And with that combined, then you can apply for like a tech support or a knock position because you do have that years of experience. And yes, you'll be solving issues for customers or for users with their desktop, maybe their servers. But you will get the occasional networking problems. They will always come up. I see it all the time with tech supports. They're not networking people at all, but they work with firewalls. They do a little bit of routers and switches and things like that. It's a little bit, but it is giving you the exposure that you need to get that experience. So that is really where you need to be. So if you're saying that I'm aiming high, well, it depends on what your prior experience is. If you have no desktop experience, if you have no server experience, you need to establish that first, because that's exactly what I did. I became a desktop technician. I became a server administrator. I became a knock person. And within a very short period of time, because I was doing a lot of studying and got certified, within a very short period of time, I became a network engineer. And that eventually led to becoming a senior network engineer, and the rest is history. Okay. That is kind of the flow that you have to be in to get to the level of getting to a NOC position or getting into technical support. You got to have some end user experience, some desktop and server experience under your belt before you can make that next step. But also keep in mind that I'm sharing with you my experiences, and yeah, I'm pretty dated, come back like 20 years, but I do know people that I have mentored, that I worked with before in the past, that has done a very similar path. I have a good friend, his name is Randy. He works at Good Technology, so it's a really big company. He started out working with desktop computers. That's what he did. He worked with desktop computers. He was part of the help desk and fixing desktop issues. After that, he started working with servers. He started doing that for a little bit. And eventually, he started doing some networking because the company that he was in has some networking stuff. And he just took care of that because he was assertive. He took the effort and says, I want to do these things. So this is a person just a couple of years ago here in the Silicon Valley in California. So again, location is very important. But he did that. He basically did desktop, he did servers, and then that allowed him to advance and do networking opportunities. Okay, so let's get down to the action items that I want some of you guys to do. Okay, so one of the first things I want you to do is I want you to do an assessment of what your current experience is right now, your IT experience. How much of that is desktop experience? How much of that is server experience? What kind of things did you do? That's a really big deal, and that should be reflected clearly on the resume. Number two, where are you going and searching for job opportunities? Are you going to one website, two websites? What kind of sites are you going to? And post that below in the comments so other viewers can see what you're using. And that may give you other ideas of other websites to look at. Because you should be looking everywhere, not just one or two websites. Everywhere you got to be searching for opportunities because they could be different from site to site. Also, are you looking at company websites and their job postings? You got to look everywhere. So you do that assessment of where you are searching for jobs. And that will also depend on your location. So you could be looking for a job and maybe there's just a handful of jobs. That just means that the location is not favorable for IT positions. That's really a big deal. For myself, I live in the Silicon Valley, so there are a plentiful amount of jobs for IT related jobs in the field. So location is really a big deal. And if you're struggling, it could be where you are located. And that is it, at least for now. Again, I want to have more conversations about this of struggling to get network opportunities. I want to have more of these episodes, so there'll be a lot more to come. I'd like to hear some of your feedback, what you're doing, what you're assessing, and we'll go from there. And we're done with this episode. So if you have any questions about being a network engineer or anything in the networking field, post those questions below in the comments, and your question could be selected as one of the new episodes on this channel. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. That means a lot. And support us at routhub.net. And until next time, keep networking.